small delays are bound to happen. Okay.
It was.
I
I have the image saved.
I guess I can't do an intro yet. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. We are live now. A small reminder: we are doing this Saturday night at 9 Pacific time at night.
It's our official schedule now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as you can see, this time we actually have a little bit of graphics now, a little better.
We are prepared.
A little bit more prepared, and I just realized some of them is not very to the edge, and then some of them is bleeding through, which is pissing me off a little.
You know, I just got 2 emails on my phone, and I'm like, oh shit, if somebody has to email me twice, then there's an issue. No, it's just you guys are.
I'm pretty sure they're all the way to the edge. They just don't look that way.
Yeah. Let's deal with these issues some other time.
Or maybe we just fix them.
Our first topic: edges.
I maintain on League of Legends.
Creating successful graphics for our stream.
All right. Do we still need an introduction? Do we still need that?
Yeah, why not? Doesn't hurt to do it.
Quick intro.
Well, then our names are already on the stream, but hi, I'm Kurtis. I'm wearing a purple shirt.
Hi, my name is Darren.
True.
I am a nice TL fan.
Scum!
On my way.
Hi,
Leave.
I'm Clare. I also stream. Schedule is on Wednesdays and Thursdays on the social media handles that are included somewhere.
At some point it'll show up.
Some point they'll show up.
Hello, I'm Benny. I don't stream, but I have an Instagram.
Wow, he's Instagram famous.
I'm Instagram famous. I'm an influencer.
Bad
influencer to like 200
I'm Yang. I like Darien. I cheer for the good team, TSM. Okay. That's my intro.
Good team.
Wait, they're the same team? Those two logos?
No. Oh, no. With me and Benny? Yeah, me and Benny.
Oh, yes.
Me and Benny.
Man, I can just wear my TSM. I can just wear my TSM hoodie.
Okay.
My TSM merch.
On to the topic of today.
First one. It's a bit of a mouthful. Myers-Briggs type / love language / other types of this shit. How much does it actually help to find a good relationship?
Slush.
You know, I actually only have heard of the Myers-Briggs type like before this whole thing. I heard of love languages. I didn't think there was an actual quiz for it. So taking this was really interesting to figure out.
Right.
So for the viewers, we have done the test already. We are not going to... We could do the test on live, but we already have everyone's result, and we can just touch on that. So we have that right there.
I think let's quickly just like explain which each one is, because some people might not know. I'll explain love languages, because I was the one who brought that one up originally. Love language, essentially, there's like 5 types of love languages. And it's just kind of what type of love, I guess, you kind of enjoy the most, and like kind of the one that you personally enjoy receiving from your significant other. So
as
the
in
5,
like an expression of care.
Yeah. So the 5 is acts of service, receiving gifts, physical touch, words of affirmation, and quality time. And yeah, so. I feel like everyone should know what Myers-Briggs is at this point, though. It's just
my chat wants to know if we can all say prune gang at the same time.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Prudence. And then Kurtis legs out. Good job, Kurtis.
Aw.
Perfect.
Kurtis is like, fuck.
Yeah. So to those who don't know what the Myers-Briggs 16 personalities test is, I don't remember what the
Great way to start.
Okay, so it's made out of 4 letters, and those 4 can distinguish you among other personalities, like depending on how they
Yeah, so
are.
the
So,
first
like,
letter goes to either introversion or extroversion. So if you veer on the side of introversion, they'll give you a percentage saying the majority of your answers indicate that you're most likely to be an introvert, and the opposite is true for extroversion. And the second letter goes to either N or S, S being I believe sensing, and N being
Intuition.
intuition, which is like how a person just makes their judgments. So like if you follow your gut based on like your gut feelings, you make decisions, or if you do it through sensing, then you make your judgment through what you've perceived in your external environment. And then there's the third letter, which is F or T, F being
T is
Feeling.
thinking.
feeling
yeah,
F
it's
is
Yeah,
feeling
feeling
and
and thinking. Yeah.
and thinking. So like once again, like how you make your judgment, if you make your judgments based on emotion, or if you do it through rationalization or logic. And then the fourth letter, which is either J or P, J being judging, and P being perceiving, meaning you make your judgments before you decide something or you think about something first. And the fifth letter recently was just added maybe a year ago, and it's about how you handle stress. So if you're a T, you're turbulent. In 2 words, you suck at handling stress. You suck. And then A for assertion, which is being assertive and being able to control your stress and manage your stress levels. Which we are all turbulent types. We all suck at handling our stress.
Wait, hold
that
on.
explains a lot.
Did you just assume my stress level? I handle my stress pretty well.
I am only basing this off of the personality type results we
Yeah.
have received.
This test is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I never really looked into these. I never really believed in this, and like horoscopes and like things like that. I never really thought about it. Like I
think this one has a more reasonable database
Yeah.
to back it, and consistency to say it's more valid than horoscopes. So
Yes.
horoscopes,
This is more in
sometimes
detail,
they're on
less
this side
broad
and sometimes
terms.
they're on that side.
But then it's like I'm just saying, like, you know, this isn't usually what I look at because I don't really care about what these sorts of websites say. But after
Right.
taking this, and then I took this 2 years ago. My university friends nagged me to, and I took it again.
Mhm.
Got the same result. Kind of believe
Right.
it a little more. So it's pretty cool
I
to
mean,
read up
you
on
can
what
force
it
a
thinks.
different result for sure too. Like people, if they have company mandated Myers-Briggs tests, which do happen sometimes, people can force a different result if they have already taken the test before or they know how it works.
Wait, there's company.
Yeah, there's
mandated
company ones.
ones?
Isn't that a little biased?
They're not mandated, but I'm pretty sure they have done it in companies prior.
That's kind of spooky, yo.
Yeah, it's
It
like
makes sense because like on the website we did it on, it even had like a section where it's talking about like if you're like in a managerial role, then your managers, your style's kind of like this based on like your results. If you're just like a normal employee, then like this is kind of working style. This is what you need to succeed. So I guess like depending on how that information is used, I can understand why like a company would want to use it, right?
But imagine
Right.
like them you're doing your interview and they're like, all right, so what's your MB test? I'm like,
Yeah,
It's like
I guess.
it's like, and they
at the
ask
end of
for
the day,
that.
I think they're
firsthand.
more focused on your compatibility with the workplace more than your actual personality.
That's still real spooky. I think if I walked into an interview and somebody was like, "Hey, what's your MB?" I would be shook. I'd be like, "What did I just walk into?" Like I expected
Why?
technical questions.
And how do I get out?
Yeah. Can I leave right now? But I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with my thing. I'm pretty happy with my result because what I want to be in the workplace is kind of like in a managerial role, and
Right.
the personality that I got was console, and they do good in managerial roles by employing teamwork. So take that, hire me, ask me what my MB type is. I'll put it in my resume.
I guess for now, let's just everyone quickly like go over what they got for like both the personality test and the love language test.
You're gonna have
Just
to read mine out because I have it in context and I'm showing the.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll start with mine and then I'll also just go over Kurtis's. So for the personality test, I got ISFPT. So I'm more introverted, more observant, more kind of feeling than thinking, and then more prospecting, and then I don't handle stress well. And then for love language, I got physical touch was like my primary love language.
Personalities first.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
let's
just gonna go.
just
Okay,
doing
yeah, okay,
personality
sure.
ones.
And then okay, then for personality, Kurtis got INFJT, so also introverted, but he's more intuitive, more feeling. Oh, he's also feeling, and then he's tactically he's more like judging than prospecting, and he, as we've said previously, he also sucks at handling stress like the rest of us.
We actually all suck at handling stress.
Yeah, like I wasn't quite sure what the T was, but once it was explained, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. All right, Benny, go.
T was for terrific.
I am ESFJT, which is more extroverted than introverted, more sensing than, I don't know, the other result. I'm also more feeling than thinking, and
Feely
I'm
wheelies.
more feely wheelies, and I'm judging more than prospecting. As well, I'm turbulent, so I guess I don't handle stress very well. I thought I did, but okay.
I got ENFPT. I got campaigner. I'm let's see, majority extroverted, intuitive, feeling, prospecting. Then I got a solid 86% in turbulent.
Yeah.
A solid 86.
Fantastic.
I got 89, so I'm ahead of you.
I'm sorry, is this a contest?
Yes.
Do you want to fucking go?
I'm worse at handling stress than you are. Come on.
I know you are.
I know those blends coffee nights where you just hit the nearest blends for like 12 hours straight.
This is my home from another home. This is where I find my calm.
My personality type is the most common in the human population at a whopping 13%.
So that mean you're basic?
You're basic.
I am basic. I'm ISTJ, which is introverted. I take in information through perception. None of that gut feeling bullshit. I make decisions through thinking. I'm not an emotional decision maker. And I judge everyone. I judge the hell of it out of everyone. And I don't handle stress well either.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so how accurate do you guys think this is to you?
Other than the stress thing, I think it's pretty accurate.
Well, I think the other thing about the stress thing is that it's a newer implementation. The other four have been around to collect info for a lot longer. So I think the validity of the first four are much more, they're more trustworthy, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I didn't know they had a fifth one until recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the photos that I like, even the Wikipedia one. They only show 4.
Yeah.
The photo that I got. They haven't. Yeah, they
Because
haven't
these
even added
ones
one.
are the core ones, so they're more important, and they're generally people value that information more than like how you handle stress.
I think for mine is always interesting because, like, let's say I'm reading up on mine, which is EF or ESFJ, which is console. Just in the introduction, it's like people who share this personality type, for lack of a better word, popular. I wasn't popular in high school. I just kind of sat around like a bum in like a corner of the school. And, you know, just looking into some of these, it's just very interesting to see like some of my strengths is like, you know, loyal. I guess I am. I mean, I don't want to toot my horn. Practical skills, yeah, okay, I do have some, but weaknesses, it's like I'm very inflexible, and that's true. It's like when I plan something out, I don't want to really change it. I just kind of want to roll with it and see like where that goes.
Right.
I think it's definitely like, I mean, it's never gonna be like one for one exactly the kind of person you are, obviously. But it's like for me, it was also kind of the same. Where it's like some of it just didn't seem right. Like adventure, like for me, ISFP, my strengths were like I'm charming and like artistic. Those were the two. I was like, that's not me at all. And then like, but then there's like stuff was like weakness wise. It was like, easily stressed. I'm like overly competitive. It's like, okay, yeah, that's definitely me. And like fluctuating self-esteem is like I definitely identify with that weakness as well. But then it was also like fiercely independent. Not at all.
Kurtis,
Wait,
how
what
about
did you
you
say? Overly
open
competitive?
the
Yeah,
link
fiercely like that one.
comparing assertive versus turbulent for the 5th personality type?
Where do
It's
I
in
find?
the doc.
While I figure that out.
That one.
Freaking overly competitive, prints my face out, sticks it to a door, rips it down in front of me.
What?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
no,
you wanna
yeah. So, this was like maybe 2 weeks now. No, not 2 weeks. Like a year or two now. So, we were playing this game called Speedrunners, which is like a platforming game where you go around like this course and you just like try to stay ahead of everyone, like as they slowly get eliminated.
Right.
Like we were just playing for fun, obviously, but like I just got way too into it. I was like salty because I could like never win. And like Benny,
I love how it pops up as a discounted game.
Yeah.
It's discounted right now. Get it.
Oh my god.
We're not
But, like,
sponsored by Speedrunners,
Benny,
but
like,
yes, it's 85% off right now at
but like,
$254.
but just because Benny and Kurtis have played a lot, like they were way better at it than me. But it's like it was still frustrating, right? I like progressively got better, but like I still never beat Benny at all. And then like as a joke, but also because I was like, yo, screw you, I'm gonna beat you this time. I like printed out a picture of his face, put it against the wall, and I recorded a video where like the Rocky theme was playing, and I just like ripped it off like he does in like the movie during like one of the training montages, and just said that to him. And then it was like I didn't even beat him that day, but the next time I managed to win. And then I like popped off super hard. I was like, yeah, I was like, fuck yes.
We never played that game again.
Pretty much. But
Okay,
yeah,
so back on the topic of assertive, the A personality type, if you would scroll back a little bit. So people who identify with or are so-called labeled as assertive individuals usually don't get stressed out. And they don't think about actions they've done in the past or the choices they've made before. In contrast to turbulent types, which if you would scroll down, Turbulent types have a lot more self-doubt and they're perfectionistic and they really want to improve. Both are like driven by success, but they're driven by success for different reasons and by different ways. So like T types are usually more nitpicky about details and pretty like attentive, I'd say.
Okay. Now with that explanation, I think I might have, been. It's not, maybe not that bullshit.
Yeah, I know
'Cause a big
exactly what put me
factor-
down to turbulent though, which is funny.
The exact factors of the A type are to be overconfident, pretty much like to the point of being cocky.
Do we know any cocky people that we can subject through this test?
Yo,
It's like,
dude,
these
I
are the
can't be
decisions I
me.
made,
I'm
and it
too
doesn't
humble.
matter what anyone else thinks. And they're gonna be like, yes, I am confident that I'm correct, and nobody can tell me that I'm not.
Do we have anybody
Yeah.
like that?
I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm not.
I'm like that ironically. I'm not actually like that.
I don't want to name drop anybody and then offend them. Especially when I know that they're going to be watching this.
David.
We can
Oh.
we can figure it out.
David has confidence.
Rui.
Hey, name drop.
I'm like that ironically though. That's why the whole like.
Are you trying to fake it till you make it?
Double lift.
Pretty much. Like honestly, that's pretty much how I am.
I like mine. I liked my result.
I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say they like their result before.
Well, okay, so here's like the very first one. The campaigner personality is a true free spirit. They're often the life of the party, but unlike types in the explorer role group, campaigners are less interested in the sheer excitement and pleasure of the moment than they are in enjoying social and emotional connections they make with each other. Charming, independent, energetic, and compassionate, the 7% of the population that they comprise can certainly be felt in any crowd. That's pretty accurate, right, Rui?
That's a pretty big part of the population, too.
True free spirit, but you're
campaigners you may know. Robert Downey Jr. I can fucking vibe with that. Yo, my favorite one, good old rap monster, Kim Namjoon. I can definitely vibe with that. I got Will Smith. I got Ellen DeGeneres. I get Michael Scott. I get Spider-Man.
Ellen DeGeneres is not somebody you want to compare.
Yeah. You don't.
I get Willy Wonka.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Willy Wonka, really?
Yo, come to my chocolate factory.
I have a question for Claire and Kurtis, just because we're the three who got introverted, and do you how much do you feel like you're actually introverted, right? Because that whole in my opinion, the whole introverted extroverted thing is always tough to really get a good kind of read on with people. So how much do you feel like you're actually an introvert more than you are an extrovert?
I mean, if it's passively choosing, I would choose to be staying home, just relaxing, doing my own thing. But if I need to, I just need to get me over that cliff. You push me off, and then I can be extra
you can be extra, right?
Yeah, it'll dial me up to 11, and I'm not afraid to do anything. I'm down for anything.
Yeah,
but that's not an automatic thing.
I feel like I feel like I'm definitely more on the introverted side, but it's a weird one where it's I also like to be extroverted, but even then I still act very introverted.
It's that whole social battery thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's Kurtis, you've gone with me to a lot of events where it's just I can't start the conversation I want to, so you do that, and then progressively I'm able to take over, right? Or
but then the other way around. Then I do the other way around. I start off strong, and then I start trailing off, and then you get stronger and stronger.
Yeah. So everything kind of out of all the letters and stuff, it's always that introverted extroverted one that I think most people will have kind of problems with what they get. Like I
Right.
think it's less so for people who are identified as extroverted, but so like I don't know, Darian, Benny, like if you guys feel like you feel like you should be more introverted than extroverted.
I mean,
No.
for me, it's kind of interesting to say because I can talk to people, right? Like I can really just dive in there, but I always run on sort of like a battery system where
Right.
all
Like
those
I think of the difference between introversion and extroversion very much like the battery system. Like for introverts, meeting people and interacting with people is what drains the battery, and what's commonly said for extroverts is the opposite. Talking to people is what charges that battery.
Mhm.
Or at least that's how it's commonly defined. I don't know if you have a different experience with that, if you want to talk about that.
No, I have the same experience with that. It's like I think my personality says
I don't know. It's like
more like it's barely. I'm like 60-40 extrovert introvert, and that sort of makes sense because I have like I'd say I have a pretty big battery, but at the end of the day, I need some time to just flop on my bed and go on my phone or hang out just with my closest friends and play some games, like just as a recharge time, you know?
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I could go with extroverted. I'm actually really good at just diving into things and just talking with people and interacting, but I do need my time, you know?
Right. Especially since in your case, like it's not skewed too much. It's a 60-40, say, versus somebody who might be like 90% extroversion. They might have a different experience.
Yeah.
Because personally, I think the last time I took it, it said 86% introversion. So it was pretty high up on that scale.
Right.
For me, it's pretty much the same as Benny, because it's like talking to people. For me, there's really no problem. Like Claire and Marie know this. Like any networking event, any social event, I can just talk all day. But it's after, it's like the front you have to put up where it's you do all of that, and then once you get home, and then for like the next day or for a while, like once your battery's actually gone, you're just sitting there like, I hate people. Let me sleep. Don't bother me. Let me rest. And then you do it all again once it's charged. But like, there's always that like in between time where like it doesn't matter how big your battery is at one point, like you will still get very tired of talking to people, and just you do need your own time.
And that varies, right? Because if you have a positive like conversation, like it turned out nice. If you have a conversation, you reached out and then you don't get that same energy back, like it doesn't recharge that.
Positive conversation or not, it still takes a bit out of me.
It still takes a bit, but at least there's some back, right? It kind of keeps you going.
Yeah. It's a little better than like the ones that go really bad.
It's one-sided conversations.
Like there will be conversations like events, situations that like just drain you a lot more. Maybe it's just something that's more mentally taxing. Like maybe just running an event and you can't be as extroverted as you wanted to, or maybe it's just like maybe you're just talking to a certain someone who just doesn't know how to do a certain thing, and you're just losing your mind at them. And it's like, man, you really just don't want to do with this, so you just take an early break.
We are not going to talk about this.
No.
I didn't imply anything. I didn't say anything.
You're projecting.
Hey, man. I'm not projecting at all. I'm just interacting with my chat.
The voice of a liar.
I mean, let's see, what is my chat? I think many people aren't really at the two ends of the spectrum. Many are like extroverted introverts or vice versa. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's definitely
like there's no absolute.
I mean, there's a common term that's come up in these recent years, which is an ambivert, which is somebody who claims to both.
That's what I say in an interview.
But even then,
interview,
like extroversion to introversion is a sliding scale. It's not like two bubbles that are separate from each other. Like there's a scale. This is the most extreme end, and this is the other most extreme end.
Yeah. it's kind of like the Pope bell curve thing. Like, obviously, there's gonna be cases of people who are like actually on like extreme ends of each. But like for most people, it's like, yeah, like I
They fall
guess I'm an
somewhere in the
introvert, but
middle.
like I'm kind of extrovert as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like, for me, like one of my results here is I'm 70% feeling, 30% thinking, although that's still kind of in the middle. But it's like I've recalled plenty of times where I am working on something and I say, fuck it, like we'll just do this, and I'll just hop on it without really thinking about it.
Right.
So it definitely exists that you can have the two extremes and you're way closer to one than the other.
Yeah, for sure.
All of this is a sliding scale, and
Mhm.
I kind of sit in the middle for almost all of mine, except thinking and feeling.
Your feely wheelies.
I'm feely wheely. I'm very feely wheely.
All right. Well, that's a good time to move on to the next one. Love languages.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Curtis, do you need me to say yours again, or do you have it this one?
Yeah. I'll pull up the.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, this is not.
So,
This is the bad photo.
I'll
I searched up love languages, but it comes up to say how to speak your spouse love languages. I mean, that's not it.
yeah.
How to do your
yeah. But I guess so.
I speak your language.
I speak your language. Jesus. So I guess I'll start with mine and Curtis's. I personally got physical touch as my like primary love language,
Right.
and Curtis got quality time.
Do you know how many points you guys scored on that?
Yes. I can pull.
I
both
don't have
our-
the
our
exact
results.
one, but I remember my quality
Yeah,
time
okay.
is 50%.
Yeah, Curtis had like 50%.
Right.
I had 33% for physical touch.
So for someone who hasn't taken it, the entire 5 traits are scored out of 30 points. So there's 30 points to distribute. And so the highest one that you can get anywhere up to 12 points, I believe, for your primary trait.
Yeah, so for me, physical touch was at 33%, and Curtis with his. But I think one thing is that like there's a reason the website tells you that's your primary one, because it's kind of like there's not one person who's like just one set thing. Everyone's kind of like a mix. So that's one thing I
Exactly.
want to
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Benny, what's yours?
So for mine, it is quality time. So I enjoy quality time more than most of the other ones, but they're also pretty close to each other. So 33 quality time, 20% words of affirmation, 20% physical touch, 17% acts of service, and 10% receiving gifts. So for me, it's more just
I also got quality time, but mine is 40% quality time, 27% physical touch, 23% words of affirmation, 7% acts of service, and 3% receiving gifts.
And then Claire.
All right, I don't have percentages because I did not calculate them, but my love language is the odd one out, which is actually no surprise because it's more common for men to score high on quality time or physical touch, more so on physical touch, and it's more common for women to score high for words of affirmation or acts of service or quality time. But I got acts of service for 11 points. So that's basically like, for me, if somebody wants to show that they care about me, it would be most ideal that they do like an action or like something that helps or contributes towards making my life easier. So like say somebody says, "Oh, I'll wash the dishes for you tonight." Like that's an example. Like
She's projecting. She just doesn't want to do the dishes. Lazy.
Yeah. Okay. You explaining that like women are more likely to get like access service and stuff kind of makes a lot more sense, because when I was looking over it, it's like you had access service, and then for the 4 of us, access service was usually the lowest scoring one. So
right. So for me, the other ones, in the following order are quality time, then physical touch, then words of affirmation, and receiving gifts. So words of affirmation is like people actually saying to you like how they feel about you.
Yeah.
And I don't need that.
Mhm.
So that's just a personal thing.
I
And
don't need
receiving
that.
gifts also, like, gifts aren't meaningful to me. That's not to say like people don't like receiving gifts. It's just how meaningful is a gift to you?
I
don't
think.
know. Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I think one other thing is like a lot of the love language is kind of have like kind of connect a bit, and there's a
Right,
bit of
yes.
like what's the word I'm thinking of? Like overlap. There's like a bit of overlap because like I got physical touch as my primary love language, but like before I took this test, I honestly thought it was gonna be quality time because like because I've been like hang out with my girlfriend like at night and stuff, and it's like I consider that quality time, but it's also like we're just kind of like really close to each other and whatnot. So like in those situations, like something like this quiz would have taken it more as physical touch, but like I personally would have still considered more as quality time, and like I really enjoyed that. So like that's why in my mind it's like I thought I would like have quality time as like my primary love language.
So that's why you're not hanging out with us, huh?
Well, you guys are already
Man.
asleep. You guys
Shots
stop. Right?
fired.
What?
What? Let's leave. Let's leave.
Yeah, because not anymore because you're done with your co-op. Like before, you guys were like, "Oh, sleep already," you know. But it's like, but yeah, so it's like, I personally enjoy quality time more. But like when I took the quiz, it's like a lot of the situations where it's like it would be categorized as physical touch. I consider
Right.
more as like, oh, it's just us sharing like a nice quality moment together. So that also skewed how my results went, I guess. Like not really, because obviously it's still right, but yeah.
Imagine being a delinquent and sneaking out at night to your girlfriend. Who would do such a thing?
Yeah,
Who would such a heinous thing?
Having relationships, yeah, who would have that?
Yeah, who would have such a crime? Imagine having a girlfriend. Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're Yang.
Yeah, dude. Imagine having a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I like not just speak here and then the matter.
That's
Okay,
right.
Kurtis,
What if
it's
your
okay.
mom was watching? You would be grounded.
Oh, my mom already knows. She's just like, I'm not stupid. I knew like you were going out to do that. I was like, all right.
Dude, moms have a completely different sense of like
Yeah.
what their kid is doing. It's insane. Like,
Dude,
did I ever tell
It's
you?
like it's like a dad with a thermostat.
I have a story about this too, but you can go first.
Okay, I didn't tell my mom I was gonna hang out with this one girl, right? Like, I didn't know where it was going, so I just kind of left it like away from my mom. I really only tell her over the dinner table when I'm sure of something. One day, I came home, like after hanging out with this girl, and walk up the stairs. Hey, mom, like how are you? Talk a bit, get some water, and she's like, "You smell different.
You're dating someone." Oh,
Who are you hanging out with? And I'm like,
Smelling different.
I've been exposed. Been completely exposed. I'm really shitty at lying. Like, if it's my mom
you were quick on
and
your feet, you could have been like, I was hanging out with a new friend today.
yeah. But like, if you catch me off guard while I'm trying to go through with a lie, like I will completely collapse. So I told her everything right there, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
See, the secret isn't to lie. The secret is just to like only reveal like a slight bit of the truth, right? It's just like, why'd you go out? I was like, oh, I just felt like going for a walk like at the park.
No, that's so sus.
That is way too obvious.
Really sus.
No, okay, like that's
all
like an example of like you get the point, right? It's like
Great, don't give me good advice ever again.
Enough of like just give me enough of the truth, where it's like.
But you can't do it the way that you're like saying like oh, I just went out to see a friend this late at night. Really?
Okay, like that one is like I don't want to be stuck in the house forever,
you can't
which works because I've been
people
stuck in this house forever, except for when I go out at night.
No sane person goes out at midnight.
Yeah, no sane person goes out at midnight.
My story.
Except for McDonald's. Same.
True. So I was waiting to. This was back in high school. I was waiting to get picked up by my mom. This is before I got my license, and then there was this classmate that was waiting with me. And then after I got home, my mom immediately hit me with "That boy likes you." I said, "What do you mean?" She's like, "He likes you." I was like, "How do you know?" She's like, "I just know." And then fast forward 2 weeks, and he actually confessed to me, and I was like, "Ah, shit." Why is mom so on top of this stuff?
Did you go like, she fucking called it, like right there?
No, I was sitting in class, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Wait, he confessed to you in class?
No, like, he sent me a text in class. And so I went out during
Oh.
the break. Like, you know, like in between classes, there's the break period. So he was like, "Meet me outside." And that's like ringing alarm
Square
bells,
up.
like super sus.
Square
Or
up.
he just wanted to fight you. There could
He's
be
going
one
to
of
fight you, actually. He's pussy
Just
about
saying
it.
in chat, Butski. That's right. I'm the girlfriend. I'm the one exterior. He's mine, man. He's mine.
And then I went outside, and it was like first snow before winter break, and he's standing out there with like a box of chocolates and a stuffed toy, and I was like, "Ah."
Oh.
And I was like, "Hey, I just wanted to tell you that I never led you on, and I do not like. I'm not interested in anyone right now, so this is not a you thing." And he was like,
Oh my
"Well, I still want you
God.
to take these." And I was like, "Are you sure? I feel really bad taking them." He's like, "Yeah, just take them." And I was like,
Okay, don't turn that shit back.
I mean, like the thing is, like this. What else was he gonna use it for at that point, right? Like,
I don't know, he could eat
well,
it
he
himself.
true.
got himself a girlfriend like a month later.
All right.
So really, he could have kept it for that.
True. True.
Save your money.
Huh?
I was saying how that guy could have saved his money because he got a girlfriend a month after that confession.
See, that's why you just get
Dying.
stuff. You get like, you know, bulk buy things that you can get rid of.
You could have stashed. You're like, "For my next confession."
They'll never see
I
this
have
one
this
coming.
family-sized box of Cheerios ready.
Just imagine walking up to a girl with a handful of Cheerios. Hello.
Hello.
Imagine walking up to
sweet
a
summer
guy.
child, I'm here to
"I
feed
got
you.
a family pack of pickles."
Here's some Kirkland signature peanut butter.
I heard your love language is receiving gifts.
Here's a Costco membership.
Yo, give me that. You can make my love language receiving gifts. If
And
you
then
put
there's somebody
Costco
that's
inside.
cocky and just like walks up. I
I'm
am
dying.
the gift.
Ooh. Put
Hey,
a
then you can
ribbon
nail
around
physical
your
touch
neck.
at the same time.
Wait, Rui, try that next time. Just walk back. Go, hey, it's me. Your gift.
On her birthday. When's her birthday?
I got you something.
I'm not
What is
real.
it?
I'm not revealing that information here.
I'm not saying reveal it.
I know.
I'm saying
It's
invest it.
I'm already thinking about plans.
I can do it for you. I can go on the context screen and just search it up.
But yeah, like
I still have 8 Kinder Surprises in that box.
With mine.
Yo, you
What's
should take this
mine?
to America.
Did you bring enough
could
for the
get
class?
arrested for that.
Yeah, Benny,
Yes,
did you bring
8,
it for the
of course
class?
you did.
I'm dying.
But yeah.
What am I getting this time?
I'm slightly invested and I want to know what's inside that egg.
Okay. All right.
True. Okay, let's take an intermission to find out what Benny has inside
Everyone
his
just
Kinder
stare
Egg.
intently at Benny and see what he gets.
This is a
What
Canadian specific treat. No
the
Americans
fuck is
allowed.
this?
Oh, was that the
What
flying
is that?
thingy?
What the fuck? How do I use this?
Why does that look like a Dragon Ball Z character?
Dude, I don't know.
Is
Where's
that
the
is that a
instructions?
propeller?
I need the instructions.
It's a glider, isn't it?
Imagine reading instructions.
Dude, I
Imagine
don't
being
know.
able to read.
Imagine.
Imagine.
Holy sh! This is elaborate. This is really elaborate. You're gonna want to come back to this.
Okay.
Think about
Alright.
how they're
Well,
designed
we'll
for
come
fire.
back to it. Okay, while he's working on that, I guess the main reason this topic was like brought up and kind of the final part of this topic, I guess, is like how much does it actually help to find like a good relationship with this information?
Yeah. I'd say in terms of finding a relationship, very bluntly put, it doesn't help at all in finding one, but to connect with a person and to see commonalities and make comparisons, it's definitely nice to see, but never an absolute. Like people change, and so those corresponding traits will also change. If some kind of event happens in their life that changes the way they perceive, say, one of the things that affects their love language stats, then it might change those entirely. It might overhaul it entirely. So if you expect that person to never go through anything like traumatic or like extremely positive, then it's like a 90% guarantee. But because people do change, it's more like a 65%, 70% guarantee in that case.
Or your money back.
Yeah,
Is he alive?
I think for sure it's definitely like more about helping maintain a relationship than it is like
And it's also good to know
finding
what
it.
you are. Like when
Yeah.
like it sometimes you go blindly into a relationship. You don't know what like what kind of irritates people, or you didn't understand why it was incompatible with the person.
Mhm.
I am an Apache attack helicopter.
Is that what you sexually identify yourself as?
No, I identify as a cactus.
Like,
Fuck, I'm dying.
I guess
Oh shit, dude,
Like-
this is insane, right? I'm going
because like
insane
when
right
when I'm looking for a relationship, like when people like have that like their Myers-Briggs like personality like list and stuff, like that doesn't really matter to me because like
Right.
it's like okay, that's good to know, and like that'll probably change how I interact with you a bit. But like at the end of the day, it's like that doesn't tell the whole story of who that person is, right? So it's
Exactly. It changes
yeah,
your considerations for a person,
Yeah.
but it doesn't change how you interact with them as, like, for the most part.
yeah. Is that an airplane? That is an airplane.
Hell yeah,
Ah, I
dude,
was
that's kind
right.
of sick.
Actually, kind of looks.
Does it
Yeah,
fly?
that looks kind of cool.
Moving on, though.
Oh, it actually got some air.
Wait, that's
It's
actually
gone.
pretty sweet.
I know, this is the best gift. Like, dude, the
Okay,
last
but
one I
why
got was
does
this
it
fucking
have
piece
the
of shit.
rising sun on there? Japan be crying.
Dude, I'm shook. I didn't expect this. This is such a good surprise.
Did they expect happiness?
Would you say it was a Kinder surprise?
I want you to get out.
I hate it.
I hate you.
Please don't.
Come on, man! It's in
End
the
the
name.
podcast.
It's
He
in the
ruined
name.
it. End the podcast.
But I mean, kind of back to the topic though. It's like I think it's really good to figure out like what someone's love language is, because something
Mhm.
that actually happened in my previous relationship was that we never did this, right? But we had some difficulty in the first year of the relationship because what we were doing for each other wasn't what the other person's love language was. So for me, mine
Right.
is quality time, but I want it to be actual quality time. And for her, I think it was like it might have been acts of service.
Mhm.
Do you mind like explaining like what's your ideal like quality time spent here?
Definition of quality time.
'Cause,
It's like I want to be talking with them. I want to be interacting with them. It's like coexistence is fine, but let's say I have like a bar, right? And the bar increases when I get quality time and it decreases when I don't. If you coexist with me, it stays still. But for my quality time, I want to be talking with someone. I want to be interacting with someone. I want to be doing something with them. I don't want to be just sitting around doing our own
Right. So you
things.
wanted more of like as an individual, dedicate some of your normal day-to-day time to have this enclosure between just you and me.
Yeah, and so like we I think it's important because let's say we did take this love language test, the both of us, it would have helped us figure out some issues. And I think if it can even help a single issue, this is worth that.
would that take
sort of
will
thought.
they take it the wrong way, saying like why do we need to take this test? Do you think there's something wrong?
I mean, at that point, it's like you can just
At that point, you know there's something wrong already because they
Yeah.
are.
But
Right.
at
Something
that
huge.
point,
for you just wanting to get to know them better.
yeah.
Like what I've noticed is that people don't turn down taking quizzes. People, when they're in a good mood, they love taking quizzes.
Man, Ring must be in a good mood all the time. He loves his BuzzFeed quizzes.
Like
I
BuzzFeed,
didn't
man,
do this
I wanna know
podcast to get
what
attacked, dude.
cracker I am.
Nick's on
I
BuzzFeed.
just-
What vegetable are you?
I just get
Oh my
attacked like every
I personally
podcast.
vibe with being a celery. I'm just full of water, and people hate me half the time.
That's a new one.
That's a new
Yeah.
one. That's a new one. So you're saying you
guys
go
are
well
like,
with
"Wait,
tuna
I'm
as
gonna
well?
process this."
Celery goes well with tuna.
Oh,
Celery.
I like
Celery,
fish.
tuna, and then mayonnaise. Put it in a
Okay, but
sandwich.
people also eat celery with peanut butter, and
I like
I can
celery with
see
peanut
it,
butter.
but I personally probably won't like it.
How did we get here?
Yeah, we-
It's so off topic. All of a sudden.
Back.
She
We're
started
talking-
it. She started talking about food.
We can go
let's
back.
get back to those languages.
Yeah. But yeah, because like I think part of it is also you like if you're worried that's how they're gonna react, you need to like bring it like introduce the idea of doing it in a different way. Like it could just be like, oh yeah, like let's just do this for fun, just to see like it'll be fun, like something we do quickly together just to see, and then like it might help us a bit, right? Like
So you're scamming.
Right. Like if they care about you, they're not gonna turn down spending time
Yeah.
or doing something with you.
Yeah, exactly. And like it took me like we did 3 quizzes. One of them we'll talk about in a bit, but like it took me maybe like 10 minutes tops just because the last quiz like took a bit longer to do, but like it doesn't take that long, right? And it's like it's still just a time you're spending like with your significant other if that's what you're doing.
Kurtis, what do you think?
Of
Yeah,
Do you think these love languages would be important to figure out, like before, during?
it's definitely good to know. But then again, I need context a little, or like having some experience that you can put that in context.
What context do you require?
Like, you see it in friends. Like you see it like you see people in relationship. You hear about the cliches like, oh, they're not spending time with each other. It's solely based on like doing doing things for each other. Some people think it's like only the relationship is material, and I understand it to the base, like it's just like they're facts, but facts you don't experience it as well. Like you need those real life experience to kind of apply them to understand it. And I don't have any of those yet.
Okay.
Or
Any of
at
you
least I'm
guys
not
have-
close enough to have that level of experience.
Mm,
It's almost been an hour. You guys want to take a quick break?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No?
All right. I'm gonna go take my break.
Okay. Okay.
He's taking a break.
We're a professional podcast.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Nah, he's
Um,
bowing out on his
We
own
technically have one
podcast.
more part of this. The other types of shit was the apology language.
Yes.
What
Benny, your
also
webcam is frozen, by the way.
mine?
Benny. Oh, there
Oh,
you go. Okay, he's back.
He's alive.
Yeah. We did have the apology language, and it has a tie-in topic. Are we gonna do the tie-in?
Well, yeah, I guess let's go with the tie-in. I guess then we need to talk about the last quiz that we all did.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess I'll introduce it again and just explain what mine was. So the last kind of quiz we did was on apology language. It's very much kind of the same idea as love language, where it was just kind of learning what type of apology you kind of react best to. So the
Mhm.
5 apology languages was expressing regret, genuinely repent, accept responsibility, make restitution, and then request forgiveness. Personally, I got accept responsibility, which was 25%. In general, mine was kind of fairly even. The 3 of them were 20%, and then my lowest one was make restitution, which was 15%.
Mhm. Do you want to give an example for both of the ones you mentioned prior?
So which shoe? Sorry.
For accepting responsibility and for making restitution.
Yeah. So accepting responsibility is like, I'm sorry, I fucked up. Like this was my fault. I shouldn't have done this. Blah blah. So it's like you're like the person apologizing genuinely understands that like they were kind of in the wrong in this situation and like they're apologizing for that and like accepting that, right? And then make restitution. Make restitution. That one I don't have the best example for. Do you have anything that I don't know if anyone else has anything?
Wow, holy shit, yours is just really on the 75. Whoa.
Okay. No. Mine. So
Okay,
I
I guess
also got.
I don't have
Fuck you,
mine,
okay.
but mine was 5%, and then
No.
50, and then two other ones.
yeah.
Mine is Kurtis and mine might be the most extreme because shut the fuck up, Ray.
This is
I got
this is
accept-
our show. This is my
I got
boyfriend over
accept-
here, and
yeah.
I'm gonna talk with him.
I got accept
Yeah.
responsibility as well, but here is mine: 75% accept responsibility, 15% expressing regret, 5% request forgiveness and genuinely repent, and 0% make restitution.
So making
here is mine.
restitution is justification or explanation for a person's wrongdoing.
Okay, that's
this
why all of us got
the
it really
one
low.
where people let's see. If this is your apology language, you want to hear from your partner that they still love you even after feeling hurt. So this is by saying you're looking for assurance that your partner still cares and is attempting to assure you by meeting your needs.
Oh,
Here's
so it's
mine.
like I'm sorry. I hope you can still whatever.
So it's saying if they're apologizing to you, then they're gonna be like, "I'm sorry, I still care about you, and I still will take care of you."
Oh,
But like that doesn't feel like they're apologizing for the thing that happened.
It's like saying I'm sorry that you blah 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 blah. I'm sorry you feel this way, and then this is what happened. I'm like, you're still not saying sorry.
Here's the thing: mine is 75% responsibility, 0% restitution. Because for me, it's like I don't need you to apologize or give me some half-assed empty worded YouTuber level apology. I don't want like YouTube level apology.
YouTuber level.
Where you're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Like adjust the webcam, you know, and it's like,
No, it's like, oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry,
I
guys.
knew I was wrong. I didn't.
I fucked
I
up.
did something. I fucked up. It's like I need you to accept the fact you did something wrong. You hurt me, and I need you to understand that like what you did has consequences. I don't need this like fucking sugar coated bullshit.
Yeah.
It's more.
It's like if I punch Drew in the face, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't punch you in the face. It's just that it's like Drew will be like, you punched me in the face. What the fuck? Accept it. I'm like, okay.
Wait. So you're telling me if I want to punch Ring in the face, all I have to do is accept it?
Listen, a lot of people want to punch me in the face, so you guys gotta take a number and get in line.
Just cute.
Kurtis, Benny, who wants to talk about their apology language first?
I'm the only one.
Mine was
I'm the odd one out. So.
Yeah, mine's the accepting responsibility.
Everyone
Yeah.
here got accepting
Talk about
responsibility
the
except for Benny.
one that you have at the bottom.
It's David.
No. Like
Oh, the
his
lowest.
Like lowest?
Yeah, your lowest one. Sorry.
Mine. I don't have mine here, but it was making restitution and genuinely repent. Because
Oh, so they both scored 0.
no, they're both like 5%, and then the other,
Oh.
both of them, like you genuinely repent. I'm glad you're like giving me, like telling me that you're gonna think, like you're gonna change and all that, but there is no. It's more of like an empty promise at that point when you're still like apologizing to somebody. It takes time to get that trust level back, and
Right.
hearing that does not make it any better because you're not accepting your responsibility, like what I'm going for here, because there is no action of taking charge, knowing what is what you need to be doing. It's just saying words. Like it's just saying sorry, and that's it. That was like it just end there, and you don't feel the satisfaction like of them doing it.
Right. Benny?
Okay, so me
Care to
being the
share?
oddball, everyone else in this podcast has accepting responsibility, but I think for mine it's more on expressing regret. And I'm gonna try to keep like not going on a rant about this, but it's like for me,
He's gonna go on a rant about this.
yeah, I'm about to go on a rant about this. It's like I just want you to know that
He's
what you did is
unchained.
wrong. And it's like you don't have to accept responsibility. I didn't really pick that. I feel like it's a case by case whether they take the responsibility for a fuck up or you do. And so I just want them to kind of know that what they did is wrong and they don't want to do it again. That's fine. My lowest one is request forgiveness, because I feel for me, if you apologize to me, you express your regret, and you're like, I'm not going to do it again, then I'll be like, okay, you can just have my forgiveness. Like, you get it, like, regardless of asking or not.
Right.
So, differently from you guys, it's like, accepting responsibility is nice, but for mine, it's more of a case-by-case situation. And so among all my apologies, I just want them to express regret for what they did. You know?
No, I don't know.
Maybe,
Oh,
I think
fuck.
it's going into trusting. Do you really trust that person? Like when they're expressing that regret, do you trust them that they're actually doing that?
And it's like, for me, I trust people pretty easily. So generally I do.
For me, trust is a huge thing, and I don't easily trust, like in all types of trust. It's pretty sacred.
Right.
And I like even coworkers, if I trust them to do something, it means I'd really trust them. Like I don't need to second ask them. Like if they give me something and they're like, "Oh yeah, I measured it," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna measure it again." because I trust me seeing it
Yeah.
like it's actually what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just like you don't want to offend them, but you just
Mhm.
like need
Oh.
to have that assurance. Like
That's the worst. You get stuck. I get stuck with the worst feeling thinking about that.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to offend you, but I don't trust you, so I'm gonna look at it myself.
It's not even that. It's I want to double check for both of our sakes.
Mhm.
It's more like that. How I feel about it. So I didn't end up talking about mine, but it's okay.
Tie in with it.
Yes, I am like the other 4 members that are not Benny. I actually calculated the percentages because back when I took it, it was still in points, the point system. So it was 55% for accepting responsibility, 40% for expressing regret, and 5% for making restitution, and 0% for genuinely repenting, and 0% for requesting forgiveness. Like, I don't need someone to grovel at my feet and be like, I'm the worst. I'm the bad one. Just
she just doesn't
do
want simp.
anything.
No
Okay,
simps allowed.
but groveling is kind of nice.
No.
Okay, their way of looking at it is like revenge, kind of.
And
Make
then
them
for
lick your
requesting
shoes.
forgiveness, like
That's a kink.
it
Benny.
feels really disingenuine for me for someone to come up to me and say, "Can you ever forgive me for this wrongdoing I've put upon you?" Like it just sounds so artificial, and
Sounds dramatic.
I cannot process it.
She doesn't like the YouTuber apologies as well. She doesn't like simps.
Honestly, YouTuber apologies, they like if they had props in the background, they like clear it all out and now it's all clean. And if they're like if they wear makeup on a regular basis, they take it off and they like get all disheveled and they're like, hey guys. I just wanted to talk to you guys.
Holy fuck.
Holy shit.
That's too
Hey,
accurate.
You,
You
missed,
got
you just
that.
missed like the webcam adjustment, and then that would be like,
Hey,
They don't
Vsauce,
even-
Michael
no, they
here.
don't adjust their webcams now. They've got
No.
professional level cameras.
no. Okay, well, some of them are like, as
they
you
have to
say
be
now,
sitting
they're
on the
kind of like,
floor.
yeah.
I understand like
Sitting on
the
the floor.
clearing the backlight. You want to make the like no distractions. It's all me. But at that same moment, you're like, wow, you're barely making this all about you.
Yeah, because now they've disrupted the environment that we normally see them in, and now all the focus is on all the other elements that aren't there anymore. And it feels disingenuous. Like that's
Wow.
why like requesting forgiveness on YouTube or whatever social media platform where they like feel they need to apologize to their audience normally doesn't work because it does feel like it's disingenuous.
You know, I didn't ever have enough brain cells to process all of that, but my feely wheelies did tell me that it felt disingenuous. So you kind of nailed it.
I think honestly, like I think in
Your
general,
sus radar went
like
off.
apologies
Benny,
and
the
like
sensitive one.
that kind of stuff is like kind of pointless now. Like I feel like most people in situations where like an apology is needed, most people deal with the situation in ways where like the apology wasn't gonna help anyways. Like Kurtis and I like did the test around the same time, so we kind of talked about it already beforehand. But like I like personally, it's like if I'm upset about something, you apologizing won't help because I'm still just gonna stew about it for a bit, and then I'll
Right.
still be
No
like
doubt
upset
about
about it. Like at a certain point, I'll just like drop it, but like I'm like no matter what you say, I'm just gonna be upset about it.
It's like
for,
at
Right.
the
like
longest
when you
time.
apologize, we'll be like, it's okay, and then on the inside, it's not okay.
Yeah, it's like I'm like
It's
oh,
not okay yet.
It's like it's okay, but like for me, it's like in my tone, you can still tell it's not okay. It's like, no, dude, it's okay. Just like drop it already, like whatever. And then yeah,
But I think that's why accepting responsibility and expressing regret are so high up on the list for most people in our circle at least, because they're the ones that show giving power to the person that feels wronged. Because when you accept responsibility, you're telling them, yeah, I'm the bad one. Like I did all these things and I accept that. So they feel justified in their hurt towards you, and also for expressing regret, because you're like, yeah, I know I did all these and I feel so bad that I did them. And they're like, right, you should feel bad.
Yeah, you fucking better.
See?
Jazz.
There you go.
And somewhere in there, it makes them feel better because they're getting their feelings validated that, yes, this isn't right. This isn't the norm. This is off from how it was supposed to be.
So, I have a question though,
Yes.
about the whole apology language.
Mhm.
How important do you think this is when you are actually apologizing to someone? Let's say somebody apologized to you in like one of your middle grounds rather than the one you wanted to see the most. Because, apologies are always a very sensitive thing when you talk to people, and knowing their language is like close to impossible for most cases, but
Yes.
do you guys think it's very important? Like hitting the right one?
I think it definitely helps immensely, especially if you have known that person for a while. I think if you've known them for quite a bit of time, having their apology language helps so much more when you guys get into fights or arguments or dispute about things. Because, like, I think for me, when I try to apologize, I apologize in the way that feels right for me. So, like, apologizing with your own apology language to somebody else is sort of a projection. And if it so happens that theirs isn't the same as yours, suddenly they're like, this feels unsatisfying.
This does not
Yeah.
please me. I do not hear the things I want to hear.
The projecting is a rough time.
Wait,
Oh,
Oh,
what happened?
I think
Wait.
Darian.
I just have a phone call.
Yeah, and I see someone on their phone.
hi. So why are you on your phone during the podcast?
Ooh, called out.
Okay.
Wow.
Darian, go back. Ah.
The disrespect.
Oh, I'm getting a phone
Jesus.
call.
Hey man, I have some stuff to do, okay?
Hello, who's this?
Yeah, hey, yeah, as the host of the show, why you gotta do this? You gotta disrupt the whole entire show and just pull this stupid shit?
Look, I'm
We
having
are a
fun.
professional podcast, by the way.
I'm having
Truly
fun.
professional.
I'm hanging up on you.
Uh,
Oh my god.
I am a professional Twitch streamer.
okay.
As a person who's not on Twitch, you are indeed a professional Twitch streamer.
I have an account.
It's true.
Okay. Our topics. Do we want to go for a third topic?
Do you?
I think we're good.
I think let's
Yeah.
let's
Okay.
Maybe this is a
recap
good
everything.
place.
I'm not done apologizing. I don't know.
Grovel at my feet.
I'm still upset that I don't have the proper apologies in my life.
You're bad, and they agree. It's like, yeah, I'm bad. Yeah.
You hurt me, and you better fucking feel as I stab him back.
Yeah.
See, we're a group full of resentment, I see.
I am full of resentment.
I mean,
Just
I have
as the mastery
I have a
said.
personal experience with with Riang about the apology. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
You wanna talk?
Do we want to talk about it?
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm putting him on the spot because it's funny. You know
Which
which one
one?
it is.
I
Jacket.
don't. No, we're not talking about this.
No, we're
No, we're not talking about.
no, I'm not gonna talk exactly what it is, but it's just nice seeing the reaction. But the thing is, over time, we've known each other for a few years, and over the time, he agreed not to do it, and so far, it has not happened again. Makes it a lot better.
Do I
Yeah.
know what this is?
Yeah, you do. We'll talk about it after. We'll talk about it after.
But as time goes, you get that trust back, where you're like, someone's committing to what they said, what they are apologizing for. Like, I'm never gonna do that again.
Right.
Does it hurt? It hurts way more if they actually do. But during that time, as it goes up to a peak where they you trust them again, and then suddenly it's like snap, it goes back down to doing it again.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Snap, crackle, pop.
It feels like a disregard of like the words you gave them out of your care towards them
Mhm.
or your attentiveness towards them. So you're saying, like, usually people don't say things out of like harm, usually as like when you're telling someone you want to see them improve, it's usually not out of a bad place. It's usually because you want to see them become a better person. And
How
then to see
does-
them
No, continue. Sorry.
Oh,
You were
and
gonna-
to see them like not take your words, or like to do it for a little while and then kind of like look over their shoulder and see that you're not watching them anymore and immediately switch back, feels like a disregard for what you told them before.
Right. The point I was gonna say is, how does this all that apply to someone that's hurt you already? Like, you're forgiven them, and then this is like the second time.
Oh, I would actually be very upset on.
Oh,
Like,
I'd be
how
really
does this
upset.
all how does that all those
I think at that point,
apology
the person
language?
loses my trust, and I think like
At this point,
the beginning of the end of that
you
relationship.
question whether or not they're actually paying attention and listening to you, or they're just fucking with you. But then it's like you don't trust them anymore, because it's like I told you once and I didn't like expect to have to tell you again. Like, why is this a repeat offense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It goes back to the fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. It's like it's like the frustration for when someone breaks my trust the second time. It's like it goes from them to me, right? Like the frustration, and it
Yeah.
bounces off me like a lot until it gets really big, and that's when I let it all out and I just get really upset at someone. It's like it's always the second time. It's frustrating that they did it, but
Mhm.
I think part of the frustration that comes is from you as well, from yourself. It's like, I can't believe I let this happen again. And both
Yeah,
of those
because you
come
feel
together.
like you're the stupid one now.
Yeah.
Because it feels like, oh, I was so dumb to let them do this to me again when I fully knew what happened the first time.
And at that point, it's like that mass of just frustration leads you to do more drastic things, such as just getting rid of them from your life.
Yeah. And I
So
think
that-
that's like, unfortunately, that is how a lot of friendships seem to be ending, or they seem to end in quite a few people's lives. And it's hard. Like, it's hard to remember that
It's okay,
you're
Ray.
only
Don't
the main
cry.
character of your own story. You're not the main character of their story.
It's okay, Riang. You don't have to be sad. You just don't have to do that jacket thing again.
Like, it's kind of hard to think about how you're not the main character of somebody else's life. Because you spend so much time thinking about yourself because you're always with you. Like, who the fuck else's body are you going to be in? Like, you're living in your own body. So
That's
you're
what you
spending
think,
time with
Velociraptor.
yourself. And so sometimes you go a little stir crazy and you're like, weren't you taking care of like the things that I told you to? And they're like, well, I forgot. I'm not busy thinking about it because I don't live your life.
It's only when it doesn't. It's only when it's like a benefit or when it inconveniences them, it no longer becomes their problem to deal with.
Right.
But then if it's something, if it's for them, it's for themselves, and they only care about themselves, like, oh, suddenly it's a big problem again.
Mm-hmm. You know, but like going back to what you said, Darren, it's like it's a little different, I guess, when you have some really close friends that you care about, and that's why like it's difficult sometimes for me, at least, trying to keep up with like I can only have so many friends before it starts becoming
hard to manage.
Yeah, I can't take care of you anymore.
Like you're the type who wants to give all your attention to the people you're with, and you don't want to be spread too thin.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I'm fine giving as much attention as I can to as many people as like I want, but the issue for me is like if I'm giving you like 100%, I'm expecting 100% back. I don't expect like 50%, and then if it ends up being stuff where I have to give like more than 100%, like 150 to 200%, I'm only still getting like 50% back in a friendship or like a relationship. It's just like you're actually just wasting my time. Like it just screws me. It's like you don't respect or care about all the investment I put into this, and that you only like care for yourself, and you didn't like really take time to see my side of everything. Like you don't choose to respect my opinion or anything that I've done, especially when it's like a large, significant time and life investment for both of us.
And then they accept responsibility in their apology.
Right.
Can
And also,
imagine if they don't even.
What is that pain that you're feeling?
Oh
Yes.
my God, Kurtis.
Well, you see, Kurtis, that pain I'm feeling is my legs getting tired from walking over to your house to slap the shit out of you.
The pain
You
I'm
won't
feeling is
slap
about to
your
be
therapist
suffocation.
with you.
Wait, everyone's
You
wearing
wouldn't-
glasses. I feel
You
left
wouldn't
out.
hit someone with glasses on.
What if I wear glasses and I'm allowed to hit you, though?
Would you?
If I wear glasses, then I'm allowed to hit you, too.
No, this is nice. This is like also slightly therapeutic. It kind of help you reflect on I should really stop doing this glasses thing. It really is.
No, Kurtis, you started trying.
Okay, all right, fine.
We're finishing this podcast all with glasses on.
All right.
My gunners.
Yeah, it is very nice to have these conversations, even with like just your friends or just putting it out there. Sometimes like I'm not trying to point out to anyone or just single anybody out, but these podcasts or these topics really help you project your point of view, and
Hey, we're not projecting.
I'm not saying anybody. I haven't said anybody. I'm not singling anybody out, but it is nice to have that out there and understand, like have people understand. So,
I like the double glasses there.
Being understood.
Yeah.
The feely wheelies. If you actually take the time to listen to me and understand me, then that's when I truly know, like that's when you can truly give someone your trust. It's like, you know someone for so fucking long, and then they still can't understand you and the way you like tick, the way you function, and they still have like the balls to like not just understand your languages in general. It's like, man, you just wasted how many years of my life?
I mean, what's so hard about it? All I have to do is give you a piece of paper with an idol on it, and boom, you're happy.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. Darian, I'm just kidding.
You see this?
Or is he?
Yeah.
I don't need your charity. I don't need your charity. I have all of these for myself.
Gary has twice. That's all he needs.
I don't need your charity. I have these. I don't need your charity, dude. Watch
That's
this.
what he says, but internally he's hurting. He's like, someone apologize to me.
I don't need
Right at
you.
the
I have
or I'm gonna
these.
call my mom.
I have these.
I enjoy doing stuff with Darren because I don't get attacked as much because someone goes towards me.
Shut up, Rui. Because I'm the one attacking
I don't know.
you.
You're getting attacked.
All right. Well, that brings us perfectly into an hour and 30 into our podcast. That means we are ending soon. Last remarks?
Apologize to me.
All these glasses and you still can't see us.
All these glasses and you still can't see that you're wrong.
Hey, we're not blaming people. We're talking about a
Oh, come
problem.
on.
All these glasses and you're still blind.
But you can't say that to Benny.
Wait.
Apologize to him. Accept
Apologize to
responsibility.
me.
I'm sorry. Let me make it up to you. I won't play your blind anymore.
That's
I'm
the wrong
sorry.
apology language.
Hey,
I'm,
hey
so-
Benny, what color are my
I'm sorry.
scissors?
Let me fix this. Damn it. Oh shit.
No, and then you gotta be like, I know what I did was wrong. Or I realized
Can
that it
you
was
find it in your
insensitive.
heart to ever forgive me?
No.
You don't have to stay with me. You can unsubscribe. You can unfollow. You can click that bell up on top.
I'm
If you
very
do want to
grateful
stay
for
with
my
him,
fans that
All
so
the
respect and
reasons
follow
why you
me.
should stay subscribed.
yeah, but if you do want to stay with us, do exactly what? Do the opposite of what Kurtis just said.
Yes.
I mean, well, I think eventually, since we can't always think of topics ourselves. I think I've already started trying to do is like, I've given my Discord. I'll let my Discord suggest topics eventually. They're a good bunch. They ask me like twice a day, every day when my podcast is, whenever, even though it's written clearly.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I'm not gonna call anyone out.
All
Kira.
Can you get a tattoo of it?
right.
If you get a tattoo, that'll fix a lot of the problems.
Tattoo it on my head.
All right. So for
Tattoos live hours.
difference in streams, I have the tags and our social medias on our screen, but for Darian, we don't have that. So
The technology isn't there yet for me.
the technology
I'm sorry.
isn't there yet, but
I'll do better next week.
starting from Claire, you want to plug yours in?
Yes. On
No.
Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. Actually, everywhere on the internet, I go by Solitora. SOLITORA.
And Bango was his name.
Don't forget that she do stream on Wednesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific time.
Yes. And I play indie games. So if you guys are into watching obscure games that next to no one plays, hit me up.
League of Legends is an indie game.
Small indie company, by the way.
You just want me to play.
Is it still small?
League.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, absolutely not.
They stopped being small in season 3.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Darian, plug
Darian.
your social media.
Yes. Mine is, I am on Twitter and Instagram at Darian Chow, and I am on Twitch at Darian C. I stream this podcast every Saturday at 9 p.m. Occasionally on Fridays, I will stream League of Legends.
All right. Well, for me, my Twitch is ArcSuccsAtGames, and my Instagram is life_of_Kurtis. it's ridiculous to read it out. But yes, I do also this stream on Saturdays with these fellow hosts. On the other days, I do not have a schedule.
Yeah, she calls the hoe.
Just call me a hoe?
Did I cut out?
Hosts.
You called me a hoe.
Did I
Oh,
just did I cut out? I'm so
Apologize
sorry.
to me. Apologize to me. Accept
I am
responsibility.
sorry.
I'm upset.
I'm sorry that you guys think that I said ho. And when I said host,
Okay.
That's not
But,
the right
yeah.
apology language.
That's not the right apology language for
That's
me.
responsibility. You called us hoes.
all right. How about you,
Yeah.
Benny?
I don't have a Twitch handle. All I have is an Instagram at Benny Does Things Sometimes. That's all I got. What about you,
And
Riang?
it's Benny with a Y.
All right, and it's about time for us to end it up. No, no,
Wait a
Thanks for watching, guys. It was a great time.
So Instagram and Twitch, Riang38, RUIYANG38. I will, now that everyone started to stream, I kind of want to start streaming again as well. I don't know what. I might just do Pokemon, but we'll see. And then Twitter, Ru238. So RUIXU38. Follow me there where I just complain about stuff, but it's fun.
You get blocked on Twitter like every other week,
The
dude.
MCA
It's
like
yeah,
quarterly.
it's controversial,
Yeah,
but yet brave.
get blocked, get DMCA takedowns. I go through it all. Join me on my journey.
No. Follow me instead. I do twice unboxings.
All right.
I mean, it's up to the will of the majority, whatever they want.
As for the
All
viewers,
right.
thank you for coming out. We have been the ADP. We are signing out. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.